December 25, 2024, News Report 1. On December 25, China's Ministry of Commerce announced that the anti-dumping investigation into brandy would be extended until April 5, 2024, due to the complexity of the investigation. The investigation, which targets EU brandy, was officially launched on January 5, 2023, and was initially set to last for 1 year, with an end date of January 5, 2024. Analysis suggests that although the import volume of brandy is relatively small, the extension may be intended to gain a more comprehensive understanding of the situation and assess the impact on related countries, particularly France. Some observers believe the extension could be to observe France's reaction during this period and the potential shifts in bilateral relations. Currently, France appears to have responded mildly, without taking significant countermeasures. In the coming months, the development of the investigation and the interactions between both sides may become a focal point for external observers. News Report 2. On December 25, AFP reported that the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress concluded a session in Beijing and passed the Value-Added Tax Law. The law will officially take effect on January 1, 2026, with the goal of further standardizing and improving China's tax system. Value-added tax, VAT, is China's largest tax category, covering nearly all goods and services transactions. Any transaction requires VAT to be paid. VAT has a deductible feature and is an important source of national revenue. In 2022, VAT revenue in China reached 6.9 trillion yuan, accounting for about 38% of total national tax revenue. The new law draft proposes several tax incentive policies. For small-scale taxpayers, if their annual sales do not reach the threshold, they will be exempt from VAT. Additionally, the draft clearly lists specific items that will be exempt from VAT, including the sale of self-produced agricultural products, contraceptives, personal collections of old books, imported scientific research instruments, foreign government aid materials, and items for disabled persons. These provisions aim to promote the development of related sectors and reduce the tax burden on specific groups, providing support for social and economic development. News Report 3. From December 24 to 25, the National Housing and Urban Rural Construction Work Conference was held in Beijing. This is the Ministry of Housing and Urban Rural Development's annual national meeting, which, like similar meetings held by other ministries, summarizes the past year's work and sets out tasks for the future. The special focus of this conference was on the clear goal to promote the stabilization and recovery of the real estate market and release market demand, as well as the requirement to implement the policies of 4 cancellations, 4 reductions, and 2 increases. The 4 cancellations include canceling purchase restrictions, canceling resale restrictions, canceling price limits, and canceling the division between ordinary and non-ordinary residential properties. The 4 reductions include reducing housing mortgage interest rates, reducing down payment ratios, reducing the scale of outstanding housing loans, and reducing housing sales costs. The 2 increases primarily refer to increasing financial support and policy efforts for the real estate market. These policies cover almost all the tools the Ministry of Housing and Urban Rural Development has used in recent years to stimulate the real estate market. However, despite the intensive introduction of these policies, the real estate market has remained sluggish over the past year, failing to achieve the goal of stabilization and recovery. From the Politburo meeting to the Central Economic Work Conference, and now this Ministry of Housing meeting, stabilizing and recovering the real estate market has been repeatedly emphasized as a goal, but so far, the results have been limited. Some analysts point out that this reflects that policy tools are nearing exhaustion, and the release of market demand is unlikely to meet expectations. In the short term, pushing for the stabilization of the real estate market may still face significant challenges. News Report 4. On December 23 and 24, announcements were issued by the Yueshou and Haizhou districts of Guangzhou, clearly stating that during this year's Christmas, New Year's Eve, and next year's New Year's Day, no large group activities will be organized in public spaces. Meanwhile, local police will implement public security and traffic control measures in these public areas. This policy traces back to the pandemic period when all New Year's Eve activities were cancelled nationwide. Despite the end of the pandemic, many cities have continued the policy of banning group activities. For instance, the New Year's Eve countdown event at Shanghai's Bund and the bell-ringing ceremony at Nanjing's Jiming Temple have not been held in recent years. Some analysts believe this trend reflects concerns about group activities potentially evolving into mass incidents. Historical events, such as the fall of former Romanian leader Ceausescu during a protest, have made current decision-makers particularly cautious. In the context of economic slowdown, high unemployment, and growing social problems, canceling group activities is seen as a means of reducing potential risks. Currently, the management of group activities has sparked widespread public attention and discussion, reflecting the authorities' high concern about social stability issues. News Report 5. According to the Lianhe Zhaobao, a recent recruitment post appeared on LinkedIn from an account called Chinese Communist Youth League. The post stated that the organization was recruiting a deputy secretary and a secretary for the Communist Party branch at Singapore's NG and Polytechnic. NG and Polytechnic, established in 1963, is a public polytechnic set up by the Singapore government. It is internationally renowned for its programs related to polytechnic studies and media, and is a popular choice for many Chinese students. In response, a spokesperson for NG and Polytechnic stated that the institution has no affiliation with any political party. The Singapore Ministry of Home Affairs has stated that it is investigating the matter and reiterated its position of not allowing foreign political forces to enter Singapore. This incident has raised concerns in Southeast Asia regarding Chinese Communist Party activities, particularly in connection with the historical memory of the 1950s and 1960s when the CCP attempted to export revolution to Southeast Asia. During that time, communist parties in Indonesia and Malaya attempted to use revolutionary means to change local governments, leading to widespread anti-communist policies in the region. Observers suggest that this incident may reflect the Chinese Communist Party's continued efforts to exert influence abroad, a trend that Singapore and neighboring countries should be cautious of. News Report 6. According to Kyodo News, Japanese Foreign Minister Yoshimasa Hayashi held talks on December 25 with Chinese Premier Li Qiang and Foreign Minister Wang Yi. In the afternoon, he co-hosted the China-Japan high-level people-to-people exchange dialogue with Wang Yi and announced several measures to relax the visa application conditions for Chinese citizens. The introduction of a 10-year multiple-entry tourist visa, with requirements including annual income and asset conditions. 1. The extension of the duration of stay for group tourist visas from 15 to 30 days. 2. The removal of the requirement to enter Japan within 3 months after obtaining a 3-year visa. 3. Applicants over 65 years old will no longer be required to provide proof of employment. During the talks, Hayashi also raised concerns from the Japanese side, including issues related to the import of Japanese seafood, the release of detained Japanese citizens, and ensuring the safety of Japanese nationals in China. Li Qiang expressed China's positive attitude toward improving Sino-Japanese relations, stating that China is willing to work together with Japan to strengthen bilateral exchanges and cooperation. These measures reflect the mutual desire of both sides to promote the development of bilateral relations in the current situation. News Report 7. According to Japan's Artery News, the Tokyo District Court on December 25 sentenced Chinese national Jiang Zhuojuan to 8 months in prison for spraying graffiti on a stone pillar at the Yasukuni Shrine in Tokyo. On May 31 this year, Jiang and another Chinese influencer named Tiejiao sprayed the English word tori, which implies the meaning of toilet, in red paint on the stone pillar at the shrine. It is reported that Jiang Zhuojuan purchased the spray paint. A 29-year-old who had been studying in Japan for 10 years and was now working in Japan, Jiang was arrested in Japan in July after committing the act. According to Japanese law, Jiang will serve his sentence in Japan and will be deported after completing his sentence. His efforts in Japan over the years have now come to an end. Meanwhile, the other suspect, Tiejiao, has fled back to China and has not faced legal consequences. News Report 8. According to Reuters, U.S. President Joe Biden signed 50 bills into law on December 24, covering a wide range of topics. These bills included designating the bald eagle as the national bird, combating school bullying, and prohibiting members of Congress from continuing to receive pensions after being convicted. The bald eagle has long been considered a symbol of the United States, representing the people's pursuit of freedom, independence, and courage. However, its status had not been officially confirmed until now. This new law formally recognizes the bald eagle's symbolic status. Additionally, the Stop School Bullying Act becomes the first federal anti-bullying standard law in the U.S. It mandates U.S. universities to report all bullying incidents in their annual safety reports and requires schools to teach students about the dangers of bullying. Many view Biden's signing of these bills as his final priorities before leaving office, aiming to solidify his policy legacy. News Report 9. According to a recent report by the China Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, cases of human metapneumovirus, HMPV, infection have significantly increased, especially among people under 14 years old and in northern China. HMPV, first discovered in 2021, can cause acute respiratory infections and is one of the 3 viruses with the greatest impact on humans. Currently, there are no vaccines or treatments for the virus, and immunity is not developed after infection, so special attention is required. A study published in The Lancet shows that, in 2018, around 14 million children under the age of 5 worldwide were infected with HMPV, with 600,000 being hospitalized and 16,000 dying. The fatality rate was approximately 1 in 1,000. Symptoms of HMPV are similar to those of the flu and COVID-19, with the virus primarily spreading through droplets and contact. To prevent infection, wearing masks, washing hands frequently, and avoiding touching eyes and noses with unclean hands are recommended. Currently, HMPV infections are prevalent in northern China, and the public should remain vigilant. News Report 10. According to Radio France International, RFI, the Vietnamese government implemented an internet control measure known as Decree No. 147 on December 25, further tightening regulations on social media. Under the decree, all social media users must register with their real names, including providing their name, ID number, and date of birth. Additionally, Vietnam's Ministry of Information and Communications and the Ministry of Public Security have the authority to request user information from social media platforms and can remove content from social media. Currently, Vietnam has a population of around 100 million, with 60 million users on Facebook and YouTube, and 20 million users on TikTok. Decree No. 147 is seen as a move resembling China's restrictive internet censorship. Human Rights Watch has pointed out that the new decree poses a serious threat to access to information and freedom of speech. Some commentators believe that this measure reflects the Communist Party of Vietnam's tight control over the internet, similar to China's internet censorship system, which has raised concerns about the human rights situation in Vietnam. News Report 11. Professor Yen Shuai-tong from Tsinghua University's School of International Relations published an article on December 20 in Foreign Affairs, stating that the Chinese government will not set a timetable for the reunification of Taiwan over the next 4 years. This viewpoint has sparked widespread attention. In the article, Yen emphasized that Taiwan's independence would become a source of Sino-US friction, but he believes the two countries are unlikely to go to war over this issue. He also mentioned that the Chinese government will focus on revitalizing the economy in the next 4 years and avoid taking risks that could lead to a great power war over the Taiwan issue, while also expecting the U.S. to focus on domestic reform and economic construction. In response, Chen Binhua, spokesperson for the Taiwan Affairs Office, addressed the issue at a press conference on December 25. He stated that Yan's viewpoint is merely an individual academic opinion and reiterated that the Chinese government consistently holds the position that the reunification of Taiwan is China's historical mission, emphasizing that the issue of reunification is a core interest of China. News Report 12. According to Yiping News, the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, held a Central Standing Committee meeting on December 25, inviting Professor Ko Gazhong from National Taiwan University's College of Law to explain the impact of the revised Labor Standards Act. DPP Chairman Lai Ching-te stated that the revision of the Labor Standards Act has resulted in penalties for local governments and the public. He emphasized that the DPP will strive to protect the hard-won democracy, freedom, and constitutional system and work to correct systemic injustices. Lai's statement indicates that the DPP has a relatively mature strategy in responding to this issue. The party plans to gradually explain the impact of these legal changes to the Taiwanese public, garner support, and take countermeasures. This discussion shows that the DPP is advancing political issues in a planned manner, using legitimate countermeasures to respond to legal revisions and communicate their stance to the public. News Report 13. According to the World Daily, severe weather in the United States has caused significant disruptions to travel during the Christmas holiday. On December 24, snow fell in the eastern U.S., rain or snow occurred in the Northwest, and thunderstorms affected the southern regions. Many travelers heading to New York airports in the early hours of Christmas Eve found their flights delayed, as airports needed to conduct snow removal operations. The Associated Press also noted that from December 24 to January 2, around 40 million Americans are expected to travel by air. However, due to poor weather conditions, large-scale flight delays may occur. Therefore, travelers planning to fly are advised to check flight information in advance and prepare accordingly. News Report 14. According to Kyodo News, Japan's Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare released the 2022 health life expectancy data on March 24, 2023. In 2022, the health life expectancy for Japanese men was 72.57 years, while for women it was 75.45 years, with women living approximately 3 years longer in good health. Health life expectancy refers to the number of years a person can live without the need for care and maintain normal daily activities. Although Japanese men can live nearly to 73 years, their health life expectancy is 72.57 years, while women can live to 75 years, with a health life expectancy of 75.45 years. The gap between health life expectancy and average life expectancy represents unhealthy years, typically referring to the time when one cannot care for themselves or requires assistance. In 2022, Japanese men experienced 8 years of unhealthy time, while women had 11 years. To improve this situation, Japan's Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare launched the 12-Year Health Promotion Plan in 2023, aiming to extend healthy life expectancy and improve the quality of life for the elderly population. News Report 15. According to reports, Li Yixue, a girl from Jiangxi, was sent to a psychiatric hospital on December 22 and subsequently underwent a psychiatric evaluation. The evaluation concluded that she suffers from obsessive-compulsive personality disorder. However, netizens discovered that the evaluation was conducted by Beijing and Ding Hospital, which had its workers' compensation registration expire on October 31, and its qualifications had lapsed. As a result, netizens pointed out that the psychiatric evaluation conducted by Ding Hospital had no legal basis and questioned its validity. This discovery has attracted widespread attention, reflecting concerns and dissatisfaction regarding the evaluation process and the qualifications of the relevant institutions. On the same day, the Nanchang Public Security Bureau issued an urgent notice explaining that the evaluation was commissioned by the public security authorities and conducted by Beijing and Ding Hospital, affiliated with Capital Medical University. However, netizens exposed the qualification issues related to the hospital in this process. News Report 16. According to Radio France International, RFI, actress Zhao Wei's husband, Wang Yulong, is once again facing debt collection. This time, an affiliated company of China Huarong Asset Management, Zhai's venture capital, has filed a lawsuit in the Hong Kong High Court, seeking to recover a total debt of 1.36 billion Hong Kong dollars. Zhao Wei and her husband once had close ties with Xiao Jianhua, the founder of the Tomorrow Group and a well-known investor. The couple's success in the business world was partially due to Xiao Jianhua's investment and support, with reports even suggesting that they had acted as ambassadors for companies Xiao invested in. However, after Xiao was taken by the police in 2017, the couple's business operations began to face difficulties, with the disappearance of their financial backers, leading to a gradual decline in their commercial ventures. News Report 17. According to a decision passed by the United Nations General Assembly on December 24, the contributions to the UN regular budget for 2025 to 2027 will be distributed as follows. 1. The United States ranks first, with a contribution of 22%. 2. China ranks second, with a contribution of 20%, marking the first time China has exceeded 20%. The previous contribution was 15%. 3. Japan ranks third, with a contribution of 6.9%, a decrease from the previous 8%. Additionally, the UN General Assembly decided that the regular budget for 2025 will be set at $3.7 billion, with China's share amounting to approximately $750 million, or 20% of the total budget.